Welcome. We have Zishan with us. Zishan is working as coach at Kemsa LLC. Zishan is a multi-talented person. He's coach, he's trainer, writer, speaker, and amateur photographer. He is an accredited Kanban trainer, authorized um, trainer, safe trainer, TBR trainer, and disc trainer. Um, He has written almost 30 articles and contributed Best Agile article books as well. We are really happy and welcome you in the session of RSC Group. Today, the topic of the session is sense making, the art of making sense. Let's hope the session will be a great. Over to you, Zishan.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting me in the Regional Scrum Gathering. And I am going to have some activities with you, and I am actually going to share one link with you, and just let me know if you are able to log in there. You don't have to log in actually. So this is a Moodle link. Here we are going to perform some activities. Right now, everything is hidden there. I'm gradually, while we are moving forward, I'm going to hide the things one at a time. So just tell me if you're able to go there. Awesome. I can see some people here. And now I am actually going to have one task with you guys. So hopefully you guys can see my screen, right? What interesting.
Yes, we can see Zishan. I'm leaving the session. Will be in the back session. Okay.
Okay. So you guys are able to see my screen. So this is the first activity, and it is very important to understand what we are going to do. So I am going to show you a slide that have numbers 1 to 10 scattered all over the way. And your task is to find where the 1 is, and then find where's the 2, then 3, then 4, the next number. And I'm going to give you 2 minutes. And in 2 minutes, you will try to go as high as you can. And then once this is done, then you can actually get the sticky notes from here and put what is the highest number you can go. You can also do it in a chat window, which is not visible for me right now. So if there is any question related to this activity, or are you all set? So this is what we are going to do. Let me repeat. We are going to start from 1, and then 2 and 3 and 4. You can keep going on. And when the time box expires, then you will tell me what is the highest number you can go. For example, it can be 12, it can be 18, it can be 100. And your time starts now.
Zishan, people
Yep.
are confused. They are unable to understand what they need to do on Morel.
They can
When
just double
you
click. They can just double click. One person just wrote the 100. Okay, so
okay,
time's up. So I saw some people wrote the 100. So wow, I'm amazed that people are going to the 90. So well, the point is you have to go the ascending order, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I explicitly mentioned it is not like you found the 100. I know this is the highest number is 100. So looks like that there is some confusion in the instruction, but that's fine. We are going to do this exercise one more time. So the instruction is you have to start from 1. Yeah, I saw one people wrote the 9, the 23, the 17. Awesome. So some people got the instruction 8, 8. So you have to start from 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. So that is the plan. It is not like the highest number is 100. I already mentioned you. It is all the number from 1 to 100. Wow, one person goes all the way to 69. Impressive. Okay, 56, 90, 72. So it means 2 minutes is too much for you guys. I have to give less than 2 minutes for you. Okay, so let's take a look at little bit debrief of this thing and why we are even having this conversation and how this is related to the sense making. So I hope you guys are done with this thing. And if there is still confusion, I'm going to do the round 2 of the same activity. Probably you saw that this is the round 1, how high you can go. So we are going to do the round 2 of the same activity. But before even going to the round 2, let me show you something. So these are the numbers you saw, and we just performed this activity. And I asked you to start from the number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. So what is the trick behind this thing? Let's try to break the whole area into 4 pieces, just like this. I just break it into the 4 pieces. And what is actually happening, the 1 is here in this quadrant, 2 is here, 3 comes in this quadrant, 4 comes here, and 5 comes here. So now you saw the pattern. And now we are going to do the same activity again. And I'm going to unhide the things in the second one. If you scroll down, then you can see the round 2, how high you can go. And we are going to do the same activity, but this time you know what the pattern is. It's the same instruction, but this time you have this grid in your favor. And now again 2 minutes. Let's do the same thing again. Start from 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see how high you can go this time. You don't have to write all these 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep counting. When the time box expires, just mention what is the highest number you can find. We still have 1 minute and 30 seconds. Ten more seconds. Okay, time's up. So now write what is the highest number you can find after knowing the pattern. 48. Awesome. 99, 20, 59, 63, 36. So regardless of whatever the number you guys find this time, I bet that is definitely going to be the higher number than the previous activity. And it is the same set of numbers written in the same way. And what is the point of this activity? Why we are even doing this thing? I saw people are still writing 70, 86, 98. Great. So what is the point of this activity? So this activity actually help you to understand that if there is a structure, then that structure actually help us to make some quick decisions. So in the previous version of this activity, we don't have any structure. And what happened there? It will be difficult to find the number in sequence. And we have to move all the way in the slides. Now, when I tell you the pattern, the structure behind this thing, then it will be comparatively easy to find the next number. Not only it will be comparatively easy to find the next number, but you are also able to go higher. And it is very much obvious you guys actually did this thing. Whoever did this activity, round 1 and round 2, after understanding the instruction, they can guess that this time it goes higher. So this is the power of the structure, or this is the importance of the structure. And this is actually what we have been seeing in our life almost all the time. For example, we came across a lot of structure. You might hear the stakeholders mapping register, this grid or window or whatever you want to say. Anyone who have done the PMP maybe came across this thing where we put the 2 dimension, one the interest and one the power. We might have a Schneider culture model. It is going to discuss about what is the culture of the organization. We have an Ansoff matrix about the product and services. We have a Johari window where we are going to discuss know to self, not known to self. We have an Eisenhower decision matrix to make the priorities, what to do or what not to do. We have a DISC matrix that is going to help us to understand the different type of personality, whether it's a dominant, influential, steady, or competence. Some people call it competence also. We have a conflict resolution matrix. We are looking for the 2 dimensions. One is the importance for the relationship, and another is the importance for achieving the goal. So what is important in all of these structures? In all of these structures, they actually help us to do the categorization very quickly. And you will put it into the appropriate place, and that's actually help you. And we were trying to do the same thing in the first 2 activity. Now let's take a look at the third activity. If you scroll down further, then you will see there is going to be the 25 movies name, and there is a 2x2 color matrix, or 2x2 matrix. And here I'm going to give you 3 minutes this time, and you are going to put the movies into the appropriate place, whether this movie is an Oscar winning movie or not, or whether this movie is a color movie or a black and white movie. So 3 minutes this time. It is surprising for me to know that Toy Story 4 is a black and white movie. Oh, someone corrected this. Awesome. feel free to use Google if you want to. Awesome job. You still have 50 seconds. Okay, the time box expired, so I can see a lot of activities. Thank you for helping me out. So what we actually did with this thing. So this is, we are doing some categorization. We have some category and you are actually putting the movies into the appropriate category. But what is the limitation of this one? We have only two possibilities of every dimension. So this is actually a little bit far from the reality. In reality, there might be more combinations. So maybe you guys have to do, instead of 2, you have to do 3 values. For example, this risk management from the project management, people are familiar. So instead of only the low side and high side, we introduce the medium. So now we have 3 values for each dimension. So we have 2 dimension, likelihood and impact. And every dimension have a 3 values. Or maybe something like this. Every dimension has a 3 values, the performance dimension and the behavior dimension. So here we are getting a little bit more realistic thing. So instead of 2 by 2 grid, it's a 3 by 3 grid. And that is actually our next activity. So come to the next activity. It's the same set of movies. I'm not changing the movies, but this time, instead of putting in 2 by 2 matrix, let's put in 3 by 3 matrix. And this time criteria is animated movie. People are already started. So let me start the timer. Animated movie, non-English movie, English movie, and the other dimension is the time frame. Awesome. Again, you guys are ahead of schedule. We still have 1 minute in case if you want to make some adjustment based on the knowledge gained from the Google during the in the meantime. Okay, time box is up. So here you are getting a little bit more detailed information, but still there is a problem. So we are still not able to cover the realistic world scenario. For example, what if there is an animated movie in non-English language? What about the Japanese anime? Where are you going to put that thing? Are you going to put that animated movies not in English in the first column or in the second column? So there is still some confusion. There is still some discussion needs to be done. And that is by design. So what is the solution of this one? Maybe 2 dimensions are not enough. Maybe we have to introduce more dimensions to make it a little bit more realistic. Take a look at this one more stakeholder management matrix model, SLAIN model. And what is happening here? Instead of looking only for the power and impact, we are looking for the 3 dimensions. So here the dimension is legitimacy, power, and urgency. Take a look at another example. It's again a 3 dimension. So here, I-space model. We are looking for either the things are abstract or concrete, or undiffused or diffused, or unified or codified. So you can see that now we are trying to be more realistic. We are trying to cover more real scenarios rather than just some 2x2 matrix or 2x2 buckets. We can go even more detail. Here, these are the 5 dimensions, Nostr model. And what is it happening in Nostr model? So in Nostr model, we are looking for the change from the vision, skill, incentive, resource, or the action plan. We need all 5 of them. But what is happening here? What is the pattern? Now it is becoming more and more complicated. The 2x2 grids, it is very simple. People can just put it there in the appropriate bucket, but probably not cover the reality. Probably every model is an approximation of the reality, but probably that is more approximate. And gradually we are adding more values of every dimension, or we are adding more dimensions. It is becoming more realistic. But at the same time, what is happening? It is becoming more and more complicated. And what is common in all of these things? So all of these are categorical framework. What does it mean? Here, the framework precedes the data. I give you the structure. And in the very first activity, I tell you, structures actually helps. When you are trying to find the highest number, how high you can go sequentially without a structure, it is comparatively difficult. But when I give you the structure, it is comparatively easy for you to find the highest number in sequence. In the same way, when we were discussing the movies activities, I give you the 2x2 matrix or 3x3 matrix. I give you the structure first, and you put the data into the appropriate places. And that is what the categorical framework is. And that is exactly what we have been discussing with all these models. So we have a framework and we have a data after the framework, and we put the data into the appropriate bucket, appropriate category. Let's try to do in a reverse way and see what is going to happen. So I am going to give you the same 25 movies in the next activity. And this time, I am not going to give you any category. I am going to give you a blank area, and you are going to put the movies into appropriate place, and you can do the grouping, clustering, whatever is appropriate to you. And since this is actually going to take more thought-provoking, more adjustment, because sometimes you are thinking in this way is more appropriate, in that way is more appropriate, I'm going to give you a 5 minutes. I have to unlock the other things. And I have to give you a 5 minute, and this time, come on. This time I'm going to share the screen so you guys can also see what you are doing. So let's do that activity now. Someone put the 3x3 grid here. That is not the intention. Okay, anyway, let's see what's going on. In the meantime, I'm looking at your comments. No, I didn't watch all these movies. I just created this activity for fun, so you guys can understand this concept better. Making sense with Hollywood. So it is not only Hollywood. There are some foreign movies also. That is by design. Okay, you guys are continuously beating the expectation, going ahead of time. So in case if you want to make some final adjustment, otherwise we can move on to the next one. What is the next one? So that is interesting. I can see pretty much there is no grouping here at all. Or if there is a grouping, am I missing something? Someone came up with an innovative idea of changing the color. Fine, sure, feel free to change the color if that makes sense to you. Anyway, we are doing the sense making. Okay, so time box expired. So I saw some patterns here, and some people even try to change the color. So let's try to discuss this thing, what is going on here. So we were doing this activity, sense making. And this is one of the result, one possible result, one possible outcome. Your outcome can be completely different. Another group can be doing completely differently. So this is the pattern emerges from one of the activity, one of the run for this activity. And you can see that there are some patterns here, and your patterns may be similar or different than this pattern. Maybe there are some similarities. And by just coincidence, your pattern will be exactly the same as this one. So what are we trying to achieve? What is the point? So the thing is that the sense making is actually the other way around. So here, the data comes first, and then comes the framework. So can you see that this is exactly opposite of the previous one? Previously, we have the framework first, and we put the data into the appropriate category, and that is why it is called the categorization framework. So we just put into the appropriate bucket. Sometimes it is straightforward. Sometimes we have to have some discussion, just like I give you the example, what if this is an animated movie as well as the non-English speaking movie, non-English movie. And that is fine. But here in this particular case, we are not starting with a data framework. We started with the data, and framework emerges. And that's exactly what the sense making is. So let's try to come up with one more activity. So here I'm going to give you 6 tasks. 12 tasks, activity number 6. You can see the task here on the slide. And what I am going to give you is, in the next activity, you are going to put the task into the appropriate places. If you come to the mural, then you will see that there are 4 dimensions. Let me share that screen first. So you will see that there are 4 areas. So if the task is more closely related to, you have seen it before and know what to do, then you will put somewhere here. If you know someone who might know the answer, it is somewhere close to here, so you can put it closer to any corner. So if there is a complicated competing hypothesis about what is happening, put it somewhere close to here. If there is no structure and everything is chaotic, put it somewhere close to this corner. So there are 12 tasks, and you have to allocate it in the appropriate place. And since you guys are always doing ahead of schedule, so this time I'm not giving you 5 minutes, I'm giving you 3 minutes. And feel free to resize the sticky notes if it is too large for you. And since you guys have a time, so why not just make the sticky notes a little bit smaller? So we'll see the emerging pattern. Okay, time's up. So let's have a little bit discussion on this one. And this is the last activity of today's session. So probably you already saw some people are trying to change the color, and sometimes we are moving it in different locations. We are thinking maybe it is more appropriate to this corner than this corner. And what it emerges is, it is something very similar you already saw several times. So this is something emerges as a Canavan framework. And Canavan framework is a sense-making framework. So let's continue our discussion after once we did the activities. Why it's going again and again. So this is a Canavan framework, and what we are actually trying to do, we saw that the pattern emerges and then we draw the boundaries. So it is opposite to the structural framework when we first define the structure and then put the appropriate bucket. Here in the Canavan framework, you just did one activity. We first put the data and the pattern emerges, and that is the sense making. And Canavan framework is not the only example of the sense making. So here I wrote one thing from the good to great leader, the 4C model, and here there is one dimension, motivation. So the good leaders did the motivation, and great leader creates the motivation and creates the environment that motivates. And take a look at the motivation. So there are lots of theories for the motivation, broadly classified, the content-based theory and the process-based theories. And we are going to pick one theory and trying to apply these things. And most of the time it works. But if we understand the environment first and then put the appropriate theory, or then maybe going to create some theory, then that create the whole environment that is suitable for that context. And you just saw that whatever the needs for one group is, the other group's needs might be different. Whatever the situation for one organization is, one complexity problem is, one domain is, the other might be different. And it is not only limited to this one. It can have the human-computer interaction. So there is a paper written by the Russell available in the ResearchGate as well as the ACM Digital Library if someone wants to see how can we use the sense making for the human-computer interaction, HCI. It can be in the organization behavior. And it can be aligned with the same thing in a VUCA world. VUCA means the volatile, uncertain, ambiguous. So we don't know what is the appropriate solution, and we have to make some context and then use the appropriate things from there. So it is not there is some cookie cutter solution. So this is one framework. This is whether this is agile or not. So this is not Scrum going to solve all the problem. This is not Kanban, SAFe, less. This is not any personality assessment thing, not any other communication method, stakeholder management method, or anything that is going to solve all the problem. Every model is a simplification of the reality and what we are doing in a sense making. So these are the process. We first gather the data and then categorize. It's the other way around. The data precedes the framework, and then we synthesize, and then pattern emerges, and then we have a stories for better understanding what is going on here, rather than arbitrarily trying to put something on that particular environment, that particular problem, that particular domain that is not appropriate. And we just have a discussion on this one related to the standardization. So it is pretty much like a continuation of that thing, that if we are trying to use the one tool because this is our favorite, or because that is the only tool we know, or because this is coming from the top management, and we are trying to apply the same principle everywhere. And there is a very interesting sentence written in one of the book, I think it is a Grady Booch book. If all you have a hammer, then every problem looks like a nail. And sense making actually helps you understand what is appropriate for that particular context. And that's exactly what the takeaway of this presentation is. Categorization models are fast, but not necessarily best for all situations. Yes, it is best when it is in a simple domain. And you already saw this thing when we are trying to find the numbers and I give you the category, then it is fast. But not applicable in all situations. I give you the situation when you cannot put the animated movie and the non-English movie and you have a confusion where to put. It is not suitable. On the other hand, the sense making, we gather the data first and synthesize, and then the pattern emerges, and then we choose the appropriate solution. So that is the takeaway of today. So I just noticed that we are very much close to the time box. So I will open the question and answer in case if someone has.
Thank you so much, Zishan. It is really a wonderful session and interactive. Everyone was very much involved in actual. Otherwise, things get. You sum up your presentation in a very good way, that first need to gather the data and then need to categorize. In real life or in our organization, I feel first we categorize the things and then we put the data in and try to fix that data in the category that create the problems.
Yeah, sometimes we are trying to put the square in the round hole.
Yeah, that's very true. It's very true. It's really a wonderful session. We really have fun and learn a lot in very easy and appropriate way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Zishan, once again for your very interactive session. And very nice and wrap-up question could be, your topic is on sense making, the art of sense making. The wrap-up question could be, did it make any sense?
It's a question for the audience. Does it make any sense to you guys? Thank you, Karan.
Yeah. It's like, did it make any sense? Because we are talking, absolutely. There we go. We have people saying it did. Initially didn't, but I hope it made a sense now. Good. And these are very kind of very interesting topics. I wish we could have more time to talk about it. I think 45 minutes was not a justice with these topics. We can talk about days on it. All right. There was I noticed one interesting question. You asked them to categorize the movies, and someone asked, okay, if you have watched all those movies.
Actually, that was by design to put some movies which no one has an idea, because that is what the real world situation is. In real world situation, you never know all the possibilities, and you have to pick some category. If I tell you all the movies you already know, then it will be very easy. Put it there. So that was by design to put some movies which no one knows.
Yeah, I hope you had put some Sultan Rahi movies and so just to get. Okay,
definitely next time.
Perfect, good. Thank you very much, Rubina, for hosting Zishan, and thank you, Zishan, for coming, spending your time.
Yeah,
and I think it's early on your side as well. We'll be leaving for a break now, and next is we'll be starting our day 2 close keynote speaker, Evelyn Tian, and it's always interesting to hear her. She has been my course mate and colleague as well, so always fun to listen to her.
Thank you.
See you then. Enjoy your break, and see you in 8 minutes then. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And all the movies are actually real movies. So someone asked a question. Yes, all the movies are real movies.
Good. It's good to have some fun. Thank you, guys. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.